We are ready to start. Let's give 1 minute for joiners to join us, and then we will start. Okay, let's start. So thank you for joining today's webinar focused on bilateral collaborations. We are developing it together with UK universities, focusing on exploiting opportunities for academics in the Birmingham, UK and Ulsan, Republic of Korea Innovation Twins Partnership. My name is Julia Brady. I am an academic engagement manager at the Connected Places Catapult. It's one of the 9 Catapult centers for innovation in the UK. And we specifically focus on connected places transport for the benefit of economy, planet, and people. I have the pleasure of hosting today's webinar. It has been made possible through the project named Diatomic, which stands for Digital Innovation Transformative Change, designed to accelerate place-based innovation in the West Midlands, UK. The webinar has been developed to provide information on the Birmingham University's capabilities for the Ulsan academics and for the global teams audiences, highlight relevant Horizon 2025, 2026, 2027 opportunities, and increase internal awareness and interest across and within academic institutions in the 2 cities. The recording will be shared with the participants for further free distribution alongside the slide deck. The CPC Connected Places Catapult team are delighted to be able to facilitate and support this activity, building on the academic exchange last financial year, 2024-2025. So I would like to introduce the agenda. Next slide, please, Vivian. We'll start with myself setting context. Luis is Fernando Hagerman will introduce the project background. Luis is a senior consultant for planning and urbanism. It will be followed by the project overview from the academic strand, taking stock of activities last year and progress we have made across the 5 universities, identifying areas of focus and connections. Nick Loke is our Catapult consultant for academic exchange. Annette Rushanov is the head of office for Greater Birmingham and West Midlands Brussels office, and Annette will introduce Horizon, its structure, state of play, and opportunities, potentially focusing mostly on 2026-2027. We will then invite the 3 Birmingham universities to present, and I will introduce the profiles of the academics as we go along. Professor Manolia Kavakli-Son, Dr. Weishi Hua, and Dr. Mohammed Mayouf. And I will close with final remarks and some contact points to progress those conversations. So if I could hand over to Luis for the next slide. Thank you, Vivian.
Thank you, Julia. Good morning, everyone. So as Julia mentioned, I will talk a little bit about the Birmingham Ulsan Innovation Twin Partnership and the role at Diatomic as a funding mechanism. Please, next slide. First, we start with a very quick overview of the journey. So Connect Place Catapult Innovation Twins program starting 2021, where we did a deep research to use data to pair cities that look like similar like a sister cities program, but focus on innovation and collaboration. As in 2022, Connect Place Catapult start to engage with the 4 pairings in UK cities, so Birmingham, Belfast, Liverpool, and Glasgow, as well as their counterparts in Korea, Ulsan, Busan, Sejong, and Daegu. As part specific of the Birmingham Ulsan Innovation Twins journey, as Julia mentioned, we had funding coming from Diatomic program, which is one of the West Midlands Combined Authorities innovation accelerators funded by Innovate UK. And with that funding, we managed to support the academic string of the relationship and creating an awareness, buy-in, and testing that relationship as well, developing the network for academics and in the business. As 2025 onwards is the scale and collaboration. So it's the phase we are now, and then it's the one that our panelists will be presenting today. So it's also funded by Diatomic this financial year, so some of those activities, and then the idea is to disseminate more about the program, which this webinar is part, engage with our pairing cities, expand the academic and business trend, and cement the long-term relationship. Next slide, please. Very quick overview of the key moments of this journey. So in January 2023, both cities agreed in 4 dimensions to collaborate, which we'll cover in a second very quickly. And then over time, we had a number of engagements that really made that partnership start to grow. As you can see as well, last February, we attend the opening of UCCI Global Innovation Center, and then where academics presenting during the Global Startup Day, as well as we had Ulsan colleagues coming to Birmingham Tech Week 24. Next slide, please. So what's the role of Diatomic? So why the Diatomic is a program, a wider program as innovation accelerator? In the role Diatomic has in the Innovation Twin Partnership is an enabler. So it allows us to fund some key activities and projects on last year and this year that we will support academics, research, and business to really develop their network and join projects, make submissions, and test beds. Next slide, please. And finally, a quick overview of the agreed dimensions for collaboration. Next slide. So Birmingham and Ulsan agreed in 4 broader dimensions, so circular economy, industrial symbiosis, clean technology, smart cities, and medical and health technology, which also our presenters will be mentioning along their presentation. And then the 4 next slide is just a very quick overview. This is a slide to be shared later, so you can read more details. So here we have the dimension circular economy and the 2 related missions that the cities are trying to achieve, as well related themes. On the next slide, we can see about clean technology as well. So achieving net zero carbon emissions through clean technology innovations is the key core. And then you can see they have a number of related teams that some of their finalists will also be presenting. On the next slide, we have medical and health technology. So from using AI and smart city technologies, digital twin, but also about information system, medical imaging, and pharmaceutical technology, apologies. And then lastly, we have the smart cities, which is a very broad term in a sense. So we provide some related teams to give some guidance to all the involved in the partnership. So they also can identify which partners and counterparts they might reach on the joint. So thank you very much. I know that's a very quick overview for a very long process and program, but my contact details on the end. And now we'll pass now to Nick that will start to present the academic strain on the Innovation Twin Partnership.
Perfect. Thank you, Louise, and good morning, everybody. I'm here to provide a very quick overview of our academic strand in the Birmingham and Ulsan Innovation Twins Partnership this year, and also what we've done previously throughout the whole project. Next slide, please. So this is the progress that we've enabled through the years 2024 to 2025 in the period of 9 months when the project commenced. During the visit, we had in our project evaluation, about 81% of all respondents progressed in their professional goals, and we collaborated and enabled and facilitated over 60 contacts for potential collaborations. In the overall visit, it was closer, in the overall sort of project, it was closer to 100%. So this is sort of great feedback from all of the academics who have participated in the visit. In particular, I'd like to highlight two specific areas that we've enabled progress. One on collaborative research, whether it be joint papers, joint articles, or a principal agreement on agreeing to do future publications. And also on the other side to your right, you can see academic partnership building as well, whether it be exploring more student exchanges, planning for subsequent visits and invitations for mutual exchanges, and also exploring more funding application potential, which I'll cover later. If you move along to the presentation, we can see, sorry, next slide, please. If you can move along to the presentation, we have a lot of lessons learned in that diatomic in the previous years. One being on governance, how institutional buy-in are very key to the long-term success of the project, how it actually takes time to build these international sustainable partnerships. In terms of whether it be early alignment with funding calls, whether it be culture tailored appropriate support, or whether it be more of the technical and data governance processes to support the mechanisms between academic collaboration in Birmingham and Ulsan. And lastly, we also learned lessons on communication, hybrid engagement, works and strengthens collaboration, and also communicating projects internally within our universities and research institutions is key to facilitating this successful collaboration. If you move along to the next slide, we can see that these are the areas of expertise from all of our academics between Aston University, Birmingham City University, and the University of Birmingham across the four themes that my colleague Louise mentioned: circular economy, clean technology, health technology, and smart cities. And this is across the different partnership thematic areas that the academics themselves have identified in digital twins, hydrogen, industrial decarbonization, construction logistics, and computer vision. So this leverages on the research expertise of several research centers at Aston, including the Sir Peter Rigby Digital Futures Institute, the Faculty of Computing Built Environment at the Birmingham City University, and also the Birmingham Energy Institute for their expertise in energy systems. We've also got a few wins from existing projects as well from the academics, including the Korean-funded K-City Network Overseas Global Demonstration Project, and also from Aston University, and also funding secured for 3 postdoctoral positions for South Korean students at Birmingham City University. If we move along to the next slide, we can see that these are the activities and goals that the Catapult and the Catapult has provided support for and will continue to support in the facilitation of governance structures, connections and building together with Ulsan, supporting different consortia bids, and also supporting the impact of dissemination through all of our wider networks, clusters, and communities of practice that we host at the Catapult, and also the integration to the wider diatomic consortium. There's high-level goals and also academic-level goals, which are specific to this project and also specific to the diatomic stream overall. If you could move forward to the next slide, please. This covers our involvement and activity for this financial year, which starts in May 2025 and ends in March 2026. We're providing in-kind support from both CPC and our academic engagement, urbanism, and international teams. And we've also got a very special person on the ground, Yongchae, to provide in-country support in Korea itself. We'll be facilitating partnership groups, thematic working groups, and also continue to keep matching the academics and international offices in Birmingham and in Ulsan. If you go to the next slide, please, we can see what success looks like for all of us in terms of the governance, from establishing a good structure and a good steering group to facilitate collaboration beyond our project lifecycle in March, joint R&D bids, increased exchanges in stakeholders in both cities, and also potentially facilitation with industry and SMEs, and also potentially funding and investment opportunities, whether it be match funding or other funding opportunities such as Horizon Europe, which actually gives a very good segue for me to hand over to Annette.
Thank you, Nick. Yes, if we move to, yes. So I have the ambitious task to introduce you to the largest research and innovation framework program of Europe. So this is called Horizon Europe. This stands for FP9, so Framework Program 9, because they are numbered in a consecutive order, and we are just waiting for FP10 to take shape and then start post 28. The next slide, please. So what is Horizon Europe? As I said, this is the largest research innovation framework program with a budget of 95.5 billion euros for the period 21-27. It is the financial instrument to implement the European Union's strategic objectives. And in the framework of Ulsan Birmingham collaboration, it is considered a vehicle to put in place those nice ideas, those collaboration desires and wishes that our academics and our stakeholders nurture. So with this slide, I would like to introduce you to the structure of this framework program and why you will see that later within the context of associated countries. So Horizon Europe is composed of 3 pillars. As you can see, Pillar 1 covers excellent science with 3 sub-programs. The European Research Council is the kind of oldest independent council. The governance structure that was set up is considered a very successful governance mechanism. Together with, you will see in Pillar 3, the Innovation Council, and the European Commission has realized that they would like to foster that kind of governance in the next framework program due to their success. Then we have the Marie Curie actions and the research infrastructures. I would not like to spend a lot of time on Pillar 1 and on Pillar 3, which is focusing on innovation. So Pillar 1 is science, excellence. Pillar 3 is innovation with sub-programs, as I said, EIC with, again, 3 sub-programs, and the European Innovation Ecosystems, and the Institute of Innovation and Technology that manages, for the moment, 9 knowledge innovation communities. And the 10th, the submission deadline was just very recently last week. Expired, so that will set up the 10th knowledge innovation communities. But these 2 pillars are something where our researchers from South Korea will not be eligible. They are eligible in Pillar 2, so this deserves more explanation. This is the pillar for so-called collaborative research, including 6 clusters, thematic clusters, global challenges and industrial competitiveness. Cluster 1 is on health. Cluster 2 is on culture, creativity, and inclusive society. Cluster 3, security, civil security and society. 4 is digital industry and space. And this is an important cluster for South Korea and for Birmingham as collaboration, because here you can find a really dedicated course where collaboration with South Korea is mentioned. Then cluster 5, climate, energy, and mobility. This is again an important cluster for future collaboration. 6 is food, economy, natural resources, agriculture, environment. And you will see on the next slide that these are the 4 and 5, the biggest clusters, but actually in all clusters you are encouraged to collaborate. I mentioned, so on the left hand side you can see that 90.5 billion is total budget for a period. By the way, this does not include all the budget that the associated countries put into the program. So because the European Union works on 7-year programming periods, these are called multi-annual financial framework periods. You see that the current one will come to an end pretty soon. So in mid-July, we will have the outline of the next financial period, 7-year financial period, covering 28-34. And within that, we will have a better idea of what FP10, so the next framework, next research innovation framework program, which will be called again Horizon Europe, will look like. The next slide, please. You will see here the dedicated budget, how this 95.5 billion euros are divided between the different pillars and between the different clusters. So as I said, 4 and 5 clusters, 4 and 5, digital industry and space, climate, energy, and mobility are the biggest ones, but collaboration in all clusters with South Korea collaboration in all clusters is encouraged. You can go to the next slide. I used already the term associated to Horizon Europe. So the 27 member states of the European Union are by default eligible and part of Horizon Europe, but this program is especially the second pillar, which holds the name Global Partnership, welcomes other countries outside of the European Union to join this program. And all these countries, so EFTA countries, Western Balkan countries, European neighborhood policy countries, Southern neighborhood countries, and third countries decided to join through an association agreement, this Horizon Europe program, to allow their researchers and R&I stakeholders to collaborate with EU member states and other associated countries. So under the third countries, you find United Kingdom. So our association agreement came into force in 2024, and for the Republic of Korea in 2025. So this year, this means that these associated countries are eligible and are directly reimbursed for their activities from the program. And they can be partners and or coordinators of proposals. The United Kingdom associated to all pillars, whilst the Republic of Korea associated to the second pillar of the program. One eligibility criteria which I find important to emphasize is that the program requires the participation at least 3 partners from 3 countries, EU member states and or associated countries. So the collaboration between the UK and South Korea will not make a full consortium. You will have to make friends outside of this collaboration. So it's a good core to build on, but you will have to involve other countries. And to be honest, within Pillar 2, within the clusters, I have very rarely seen, I think I've never seen any proposal which would have included only 3 countries. So usually have more countries and more members. And then finally, the last slide. Within this 7-year programming period, we have work programs. Usually the work programs are biannual, so for 2 years. 2025, also due to the European elections, is a particular year. It is a 1-year work program. All work programs have already been published. For the majority of the calls, the deadline is September, so it's pretty soon, with the summer holiday in between, so that's pretty challenging. And then we are waiting for the 26-27, which will be the last biannual work program of this period, to be published by end 2025. But watch the space, because drafts are already circulating publicly, actually. So they are available, and I would encourage you to look at those, because they will greatly help your preparatory processes with your friends, existing or new friends. The last slide, please. I would like to draw your attention to knowledge sources and the support structure that are at your disposal for getting more help for your preparatory processes. The absolute websites that you should remember, I have posted in the chat, is the Funding and Tenders portal. This is a one-stop shop where you can find the upcoming, already published or closed call for proposals. So this link directly gets you to the call for proposals. And I will post here another link which will take you to the page of South Korean national contact points. That's the term we use, NCPs, or national contact points. These are the people that the government has appointed as points of contact for any further information pre-grant and also post-grant. So if you have any questions thematically per cluster, please feel free to contact your national contact points. And also I would like to recommend you a very useful and very helpful group of people. They are based in Brussels. They are called Korea EU Research Center. They also support and foster collaboration between South Korean and European or associated country researchers, so including the UK, but it is broader than the collaboration which we promote. However, of course, use this opportunity that we offer for building a core partnership between Ulsan and Birmingham partners. But of course, as I said, for being eligible in the program, you will need to find friends elsewhere as well. I hope that I managed to deliver this presentation within time, Julia, and I also hope that it was still understandable and clear to the audience. At the end of the presentation, you will find my contact details. If ever you have further questions or you would need clarification, please do not hesitate to get back to me. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you very much, Annette. Thank you. Right on time. And if I could, please, Vivian, could move to the next slide. If I could introduce our first speaker, We will now have the 3 Birmingham universities introducing their focus within the pillars that Annette, pillar 2 that Annette highlighted, specifically the clusters, highlighting the capabilities within those universities. And firstly, I would like to introduce Professor Manolya Kavaki-Thorne. Manolya is a program lead for gamification at St. Peter Rigby Digital Futures Institute and a professor at College of Physical Science and Engineering at Aston. Professor Manolya conducts interdisciplinary research in mixed reality, human-computer interaction, and man-machine systems. She received 52 competitive grants and published 240 plus papers, receiving grants from funders that include the European Union Horizon, NSF, China, Commonwealth, and several others. Professor Kavaki-Thorne supervised 11 postdocs, 117 probably students by now, and is very much committed to maximize innovation twins work with Ulsan, has several strong contacts within UNIST and UOU, as well as the Birmingham universities, and has been a key driver for this project. So without further ado, if I could hand over to Manolya, please.
Thanks, Julia, for the introduction. So can we move to the next slide, please? Yes, so Sir Peter Rigby Digital Futures Institute, our focus, it's a multidisciplinary research institute that is established recently, specifically to focus on digital transformation. And we are targeting digital transformation at the university among the different colleges, but at the same time, we want to deliver economic and social benefits with the innovations that we make to the society. So the specific focus of the institute is AI, data science, and creative technologies and digital society. So at the engineering faculty, we also have Smart and Sustainable Manufacturing Research Center. And they focus specifically on digital twin development and real-time monitoring and predictive maintenance and optimization of processes. And they also specialize in AI and robotics as well, especially for intelligent energy management and automation. So human-robot collaboration is a focus for them as well. So we also have a research center specifically focusing on AI research called Akaira, and they are committed to the development of sustainable and ethical and trustworthy AI solutions. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, Sir Peter Rigby is a really interdisciplinary institute. So and what we target here is the socially responsible transformations, and we give emphasis, especially to build strategic partnerships with the industry, as well as businesses around and public sector, and to drive impact is our goal over here. Next slide, please. So the interdisciplinary aspect, if you can see here, we are in the middle as the Sir Peter Rigby Digital Futures Institute. We are in the intersection of 6 other disciplines. And these are different research institutes or different research centers that we collaborate with. The university has got 3 different colleges, and we are collaborating with all. So EPS is the engineering and physical sciences, and business and social sciences is another college. And we also work with health and life sciences. So we target especially the digitalization is our motto, and we try to develop and drive innovations in all these 3 different fields. And you see over here different research institutes, so I can tell you what they are specifically. So AIPT is the Aston Institute of Photonic Technologies, and then we have the Energy and Byproducts Research Institute, EBRI. And then we have SMRC, which is Smart and Sustainable Manufacturing Research Center. And AMI is a research center that is recently established, Aston Institute for Membrane Excellence. And then we have CS, Center for Circular Economy and Advanced Sustainability. And again, in BSS Business School, we have Aston Advanced Materials Research Center. So next slide, please. So diatomic project is, you see the acronym for digital innovation and transformative change in society, basically. So it has generated an income over 23 million in co-investment with 40 SMEs involvement so far. And in the third year, in the last year of Diatomic, we target 10 more SMEs to join this. And then hopefully it'll create another co-investment of around 10 million pounds. So our key involvement in the work streams in Diatomic as Aston University is we want to train these SMEs in terms of the uptake of digital twin technology. So, and we are going to run training programs for them. In parallel to this, there is another development going on the campus. So Smart Campus project, again, that makes use of digital twins, especially for optimizing energy infrastructure. So next slide, please. So in terms of Horizon Europe projects, we looked at the next round, basically, which is due in September, in 3 months' time. So I don't think we'll be able to submit anything for this with this team. However, we are targeting the 6 months forecast from here. So it's basically the submissions probably will be in early January, February. We are targeting that in 2026 at the moment. However, we looked at what is possible for us to go for if we were going for this round. So there are a couple of topics that might be of interest, and we are going to look for the calls in 2020, due in 2026. So, for example, advanced manufacturing for net zero that requires EU manufacturers to join us. And then there is the enhanced construction logistics that uses digital twins and building information management systems. And then there is human-centric industries, again, specifically mentions this call, Korean partners and their involvement. And digital twins is the focus again, as well as the use of augmented reality for worker well-being. And then there is another call, innovative data ecosystems that focuses on synthetic data generation and software engineering for AI call. So this is about trustworthy and generative AI, which is an important topic to focus on. So virtual worlds partnership support projects also focus on virtual worlds and Web 4.0. Next slide, please. So it is important to mention that there are 3 different types of grants that we can go for. The first round is the innovation actions, which involves market-ready solutions. So this is a hard call, but it might be very appealing for the industry and SMEs. We need to have strong EU networks in this innovation actions. So they are generally high TRL, technology readiness level is the TRL. So, as I mentioned before, it's market-ready solutions is what is expected at the end. And you need to demonstrate your capabilities with the use cases and so on. So generally, the budget for those type of projects is 5 million to 9 million euro. And there is another stream called research and innovation actions. And these are low TRL, so it starts from the concept development to the prototypes, and which is generally the budget for those projects are 4 million to 80 million, depending on the topic. And they are primarily research focused, and they target technology development at the end. And the third group is the coordination and support actions. These are smaller budget projects, 2 million to 2.5 million. And networking is the focus of these type of grants, again, targeting technology development. So obviously, we are targeting, as I mentioned, first half of 2026 deadlines in the diatomic project because these projects require 6 months preparation. And we need to have a multi-partner European collaboration of SMEs as well as non-government organizations or government organizations and universities. So it's a large number of partners that you have to deal with. Next slide, please. So this is a bit more in detail about each project. For example, these are the first group that I mentioned before. So it's the innovation action projects, these 3 projects. And in the next slide, we have also the research and innovation action projects that are grouped under this. So can we go to the next slide, please? So these are the research and innovation action projects that you can see. I'm not going to go through the details of each one. However, this is just to give you a feel of the projects and what is expected. So in these projects, for example, this one is not, we didn't talk about carbon neutral iron and steel making processes. It's quite a large budget, as you can see, 13 million to 14 million euro, and it requires EU steel manufacturers to join us. In large-scale pilots for telco edge cloud deployments project, for example, it is about connected collaborative computing networks, and it's 80 million euro is the budget. It's low TRL, starts from low TRL, goes to high TRL, and major EU telecom partners is needed in this. So there is a lot of networking that is to be done in these type of projects. Next slide, please.
And if I could just mention, Professor Manauia, we're running out of time for the next speakers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So this is my last slide. So it's just basically to set out the strategy for the next steps. We think that the strengths of Ulsan that might bring to the table is the energy intensive industries expertise. And we have the digital twins and simulation expertise, augmented reality, virtual reality, wearables, and so on. So sustainable manufacturing processes expertise also we can provide, and this might partly come from Ulsan partners. So we are targeting 6 months ahead projects from now on. And then we have actually an initial writing grant that is provided through the diatomic project to us. We are willing to use that for the initial writing up of the project. However, the costs have to be shared once we get a successful result and among the consortium members. So Aston University can lead the proposals, and we are happy to do that. So there are different opportunities, but I'm not going to talk about those. So basically, Q1 in 2026 is the target for us. Thank you very much. So this is, I think, my last slide.
Thank you very much, Professor. And if I could introduce our next speaker, Dr. Wei-Shi Hua. Wei-Shi is an assistant professor in energy systems and an editorial board member of applied energy at the School of Engineering at the University of Birmingham. Dr. Hua took postdoctoral positions at Oxford, Cardiff, UK, and received a PhD at Durham. His research interests include energy systems modeling and optimization, digitalization and digital twins, machine learning for energy systems analytics, local energy markets, and peer-to-peer trading in energy. Dr. Hua's projects have been funded by EU Horizon, UK government, Royal Society, and several other sources. And if I could hand over to Wei-Shi.
Thanks a lot, Julia, for the kind introduction. Good morning to UK colleagues and good afternoon, I think, for Ulsan colleagues. If you could move to the next slide, please. Yeah. Right. I'm glad to introduce our university, our research facilities, and potential collaboration opportunities on behalf of our UOB consortium with my colleague Grant Wilson and Zoya. First of all, for our University of Birmingham, we are the origin of the Russell Group University in the UK. And in last evening, it's just released the QS World University rank. We are sitting 76 this year. So it's a good progress. And we keep progressing in the recent 5 years. So in terms of this particular city-to-city collaboration, we are embedding with the national level strategy for the UK Science and Innovation Networks strategy with South Korea. And also in our university, college, and the school level, we're particularly interested in the 3 domains. First is engineering, and second is implement these engineering technologies, and the third is sustainability to the net zero transition. And for the academics, individual academics and the research institute, research center, we are looking at the collaboration on the domain of digitalization, renewable energy, net zero transition, and hydrogen integration. In particular, for the Birmingham, the BEI, the Birmingham Energy Institute, recently we received the government funding to fund the about 10 million BEIC, Birmingham Energy Innovation Center. And at the BEI, we are looking at 4 main areas. First is the hydrogen fuel cells, and the second is sustainable cooling. The third one is the strategic elements and the critical materials. And also we are looking at the environmental and economic impact for the energy research, energy transition. Next slide, please. Right. So in terms of the Deltomic project in the second phase, our main activity is to look at how the digital twin platform can align with national policy frameworks. In particular, for 3 areas. One is the clean tech, second is life science, and the third one is international research collaboration. And we want to look at standardized policy making, standardized platform, or the seamless way for the data transmission between different agents, between different stakeholders. And we want to summarize all the potential policy implementation and potential strategy to coordinate this data transmitting platform to inform the policy making. Next slide, please. And still, we are looking for the opportunity for more engagement with Ulsan partners. Inside the University of Birmingham, we have tuning scheme to support our researchers and the students to take exchange, not only in South Korea, but globally. And the university will support the travel and the subsistence to take this exchange. And equally, we are welcoming the secondment of our exchange to our university for Ulsan partners. Because this year also, this is the 125th anniversary for University of Birmingham. We have also particular research fellowship scheme to support the researcher to take this secondment. And also from group level and institute level, our Birmingham Energy Institute and our electrical power group welcome researchers, students, academics to take the exchange to our group. And we can work together in terms of the research collaboration, project application. And as Julia introduced, also personally myself, I'm sitting in the editorial board member of Applied Energy, Oxford Open Energy, and IET Smart Grid. In particular, for Applied Energy, this is the top-tier journal in the energy field. Also, this week, it's just released the recent impact factor. It's about 11, and we are very welcoming for Ulsan partners to submit great research work to our journal. And also in our university, we contact with Global Birmingham to facilitate the international academic exchange and the student mobility program to welcome the student and the research to visit us from Ulsan. And in terms of the research collaboration, recently we are developing the proposal with the partners from University of Ulsan, Professor Zheng, and we complement our expertise together. For Ulsan side, Professor Zheng mainly look at the hydrogen production and utilization modeling. From our side, we are looking at the digital twin for multi-energy systems. Next slide, please. And also for the recent launch, the TRIG project open call, we also work together with Professor Zhang, but we extend this research to the airport, and we want to test the resilience of the airport, in particular, given the recent case of the blackout in Heathrow Airport. And we want to conduct the case study. And also we open to further collaboration with Ulsan partners if we can implement our digital twin scheme to South Korea context. That would be extremely helpful. And also we have the lab-based facilities. We have Smart Grid Lab to do the real-time digital simulation. And we have the hydrogen fuel cell. We have the EV, PV, and battery storage emulator to do the hardware test to validate our digital twin model. Next slide, please. Yeah. In terms of the Horizon Europe application, this is our strategy for the current year of the application. So by the mid of June, it's current time, we need to decide with the consortium partners in UK, in EU, and globally for associated country who want to lead which particular call to proceed. And by the end of this month, we are sitting together to discuss potential ideas and potential innovations for this application. And by the mid of the next month, we will map the call requirements to the capability of the existing consortium to make this consortium manageable at the beginning. So we prefer to start with 3 to 5 partners. And after we identify the requirement for the particular call and what our expertise can cover this requirement, we will find the missing gap for the existing consortium. And I think this is the best point for Ulsan partners to join to complement our consortium of the our consortium's expertise. And by the end of next month, we will identify the particular use case, because for most of Horizon Europe call, no matter the IA, the innovation action, or the RIA, research and innovation action, we need to implement it to the real world operation and in different country, different territories context. So in the next month, we will identify this particular use case. And the July to September is the window we develop the proposal. We allocate the budget between the different consortium partners. And most of these calls, they have the deadline either in September. For example, we are recently looking at the generative AI for healthcare. or the next February. For example, we are looking at the built environment digital twin. So we will center and targeting for both of these deadlines to develop the proposal. Next slide, please. And lastly, we are also interested in the research and facilities in terms of the Ulsan Techno Park for the hydrogen production, storage, utilization, and also the energy system integration. And for the University of Ulsan, we are interested in their previous research project and their lab facilities. Still, we are open to other institutes, other SMEs in Ulsan to collaborate. I think that's all my presentation. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Weishi. Invaluable information yet again, certainly across the UK universities, and for our Korean partners, I trust it meets the brief that we were provided with. And I would like to invite Mo Mayouf. Dr. Mohammed Mayouf focuses his research and teaching on AI, digital twins in a built environment. Dr. Mayouf joined Birmingham City University as a PhD student investigating building information modeling. His expertise includes the use of BIM-based software applications. And over to Dr. Mayouf. Over to Mo. I think this is where Mo
Thank you very much. I'll just need a request, please, to access the...
And
Oh,
apologies.
thank you. Yeah, I got it now.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you
we will
very much.
overrun by 5 minutes.
Don't worry, I will be really quick. Okay, pleasure to meet you all, and thank you very much. So I'm an associate professor in digital construction, and the key areas that we will be touching on today, following on what Professor Manolia and my colleague Dr. Wakey touched on, are quite similar. I think situated within the heart of Birmingham, we as an institution or as a city as well generate quite a number of income across multiple of areas, an annual growth of about 3.1%, showing resiliency and adaptability. We've secured a number of grants over the last few years across a diverse areas between engineering, computing and the built environment. We're very much an interdisciplinary institution, and do aim to ensure that our projects are as diverse, as inclusive, and as interdisciplinary as possible. Obviously, we are sitting at the heart of the city, and we are by one of the largest infrastructure projects across Europe, which is the HS2, the high-speed rail. We attract funding with industry, whether small and medium enterprises, through multiplicity of KTPs, knowledge transfer projects, which happened a lot in the last few years, including also many other projects that we secured with Innovate UK and most recently with 2 Horizon projects. We nurture our industry collaborations and industry involvement, and obviously being part of Diatomic was a key driver into attracting funding, at the same time expanding our industry and business outreach. I think this may not be visible now. I'll just, yeah. So we are like I said, we have a number of research areas or research excellence in multiple areas, but primarily now focusing with in line with the theme areas of the Birmingham City University on life science and healthcare, digital technologies and AI, and the number of grants that we have secured recently via Innovate UK, in particular with agriculture, health sector, construction, manufacturing, and automotive industry. We have an appetite as well for advanced manufacturing and engineering, and we have done with that a project on DFMA, design for manufacturing and assembly, recently, which concluded about a couple of years ago. We also concluded another project as well with called EcoFit, which looked at net zero energy, and we're still ongoing the collaboration with Diatomic project, and many other projects which are very difficult to encompass in here. But we are really looking for collaboration with industry and global networks. We are also one of the institutions that secured quite a high number of British Council grants, and formerly as well Erasmus Plus grants. British Council grants, we targeted multiple areas that aim towards T&E, transnational education, as well as early career researcher funded projects, which I will be talking about it in a bit as well. So some of the ongoing projects which I mentioned earlier, of course, currently one of the biggest ones that we are involved in, fortunately, is the atomic. And obviously, Julie and my other colleagues have already covered a lot about it. It is a flagship that really allows us to expand our outreach, realize further potentials that what we already have, and more importantly, it's an excellent platform to stemming into many Horizon projects into multiple clusters, particularly clusters 4 and 5, as the colleague Annette mentioned, and my other colleagues at Aston and UOB mentioned as well. We have a project called Accord, which is coming to a conclusion very soon. It is a Horizon project aiming at the use of AI for checking compliance of regulations and standards for buildings. It included multiple partners, I think nearly about 18 to 20 partners that looked at it. We have a small snapshot here of the DFMA project, Design for Manufacturing and Assembly, which looked at cost optimization and material usage, as well as reducing waste and achieving net zero for modular construction, a growing area anyway. And Ecrofit, of course, last but not least, which concluded about a year and a half ago, which looked at building a smart and sustainable future. So obviously we are targeting a number of calls in the upcoming submission for Horizon, and some of the use cases that we're looking for is identifying synergies between transportation, construction, and the manufacturing sector. And I think this will be a bigger image or a bigger spectrum than what we already planned for. But we are looking at research areas related to real-time monitoring, data-driven decision-making, predictive analytics, communication and public awareness, optimized traffic management, enforcement and compliance, monitoring, cost savings, environmental and health benefits. There are a number of funded collaboration opportunities. Obviously, we understand the restrictions behind, including partners from outside of Europe. And I think Annette did an excellent job earlier by emphasizing on the eligibility. But particularly with South Korea, we are looking to expand our outreach through and via Horizon. And of course, eligible British Council calls, because an excellent platform. And I will talk about that in a bit, explaining our recent project. That was quite successful. So we are still looking to recruit one more postdoctoral researcher on that. One of the Horizon calls, or actually Horizon calls that we are looking at the moment, is boosting the transformation towards climate neutral cities, the net zero economy, and open strategic autonomy through pre-commercial procurement. And the kind of key areas we're looking at for collaboration is clean energy, net zero, transportation, construction, manufacturing. The second Horizon call that we are looking at, and both Horizon calls are within, I think, the submission deadline of Feb 2026. So we still have time, although building these consortiums really take a long time. So, early communication really is a key here. The second Horizon call is innovative pathways for low carbon and climate resilient building stock and built environment. And it's part of the Built for People partnership. The key areas we're looking at, primarily digital twin and AI. What we are welcoming also the integration of BIM, if possible. Not necessarily, but we are potentially looking at focusing into the innovation and refurbishment sector, because I think it's one of the commonalities that can be a good bridge between, what happens in the UK and what happens in South Korea. Okay, so the current opportunity, I wanted to conclude with this one because this is something that we currently have. So we secured a funding with the British Council to fund 3 postdoctoral researchers. Recently, we have managed to secure, we interviewed already, but we secured 2 out of the 3 positions. So there's still 1 more position ongoing, and the deadline to apply to this one is the 30th of June. So 11 more days. Please via this link, and I will also pop it in the chat soon after I finish my presentation for you to apply. It's a fully funded postdoctoral research opportunity for 1 year at Birmingham City University, looking at digital transformation, AI, and smart cities. So whether your background is engineering or computing or built environment or any other background that can relate to these 3 key areas or one of them, please, we encourage you to apply. And I shall stop there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And the link has just been posted in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you
with
very
everyone. Thank you very much to all our speakers. It is very much appreciated. In terms of closing remarks, I'll keep it very brief because we have overrun, but I hope it is useful and exciting for all parties to have further information on eligibility, and both parties of the UK and Korea being eligible to be partners or coordinators for the calls, hearing which calls will be primary opportunities for bilateral collaboration where our three UK Birmingham universities are interested to focus with some tight timelines. So in terms of call to action, I would really be grateful, and we all would be very grateful if our coordinators in Ulsan and UNIST universities, Ms. Minzy Sun and Patrick Kim, could share this information with relevant schools within the universities. Equally, let's share them within the UK. We will share the full slide deck with everyone's prior agreement and the recording of this webinar, so it will be made available to yourselves. There are some really useful links in the chat, so please make use of those. And if we could move to the next slide, please. These are the contact details for all the speakers you've heard from today. On the left-hand side, email is preferred. You can also, on university websites in the UK, access the academic profiles for the academic speakers. And from the Connected Places Catapult, we've got all of our team. You haven't heard today from Yongche Wan, partly because of the timing. Yongche is a critical friend. Nick mentioned that before. Please note, Yongche is instrumental in building wider partnerships, not only within universities, but as we know, we need friends. We need wider networks for these scale of opportunities. Yongche is also well versed in cultural differences between the two countries, having worked for the embassy and having worked for the Catapult across both countries, bilingual. We are very pleased and grateful to be able to collaborate with Yongche this year to facilitate those partnerships. So please feel free to contact any one of us. And if we can move to the last slide, this last slide includes some useful links. The Catapult is keen to encourage the interested academics who want to deliver felt impact to join the academic network for Connected Places. That gives you access to the wider network of academics and impact managers across UK and global universities. We've got 1,200 members, and around 16% of those are non-UK, representation from over 100 universities. And we are keen to confirm that we have strong representation from all Birmingham universities included. We have freedom and ability to create clusters, but also make introductions and fill gaps in capabilities if need be, as consortia are forming. Also distinctly Birmingham, a key part and a communication platform for our diatomic communications, and we will be utilizing that as a main channel for sharing information about current and future opportunities, both very tactical, but also for dissemination of information and impact. For policy making, to reach some of the policymakers, civic society, and academics. I think Annette also highlighted the Horizon link, so you will find it at the end of Annette's presentation, but also on this slide, how to connect and interact. We would really encourage you to join the forthcoming networking events organized by Annette's team and one of the Horizon team. And thank you very much for participating. Please share. And I think I can safely say on behalf of all the contributors to today's webinar, we hope to hear from you very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for
Bye-bye.
organizing.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And good luck for the
Thanks, everyone.
applications.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.